Imagine living next door to a man everyone admires. A brilliant doctor at the World Health Organization. A loving husband, a devoted father, a man who drives home every weekend in his classy Peugeot, always polite, always calm. But behind that perfect facade lies a web of lies so thick that when it finally unraveled, it ended in blood. This is the true story of Jean-Claude Romand. Jean-Claude was born in France in 1954. A bright student, or so everyone thought. In the late 1970s, he enrolled in medical school in Lyon. He told his parents and friends he passed every exam with ease. But in reality, he failed his second year. Instead of admitting it, he simply never went back. No degree, no license, no future as a doctor. Yet he told everyone otherwise. He told them he graduated, that he'd been recruited as a doctor and researcher at the prestigious World Health Organization in Geneva. And because nobody checked, they believed him. For years, he pretended to commute to work, leaving home early, returning late, always with scientific gossip and tales of meetings with global experts. But what was he really doing? Every day, he sat in roadside cafes, wandering in forests, reading newspapers in his car. He had no job, no office, no income. To survive, he began scamming money from his family and friends. He convinced them to invest in Swiss funds through him. They trusted him. He was Dr. Romand, after all. And for over a decade, nobody suspected a thing. By the early 1990s, the pressure was unbearable. His lies were catching up with him. Some relatives began asking for their investments back. His parents wondered why they had never seen his workplace. His wife, Florence, started noticing strange gaps in his stories. Jean-Claude's entire existence was built on a lie, and the financial demands were mounting. Instead of confessing, he began planning something unthinkable. On January 9, 1993, the facade shattered in blood. That morning, in his comfortable home in the village of Prevessin-Moëns, France, Jean-Claude Romand struck his wife Florence in the head with a rolling pin while she prepared breakfast. When she fell, stunned and bleeding, he strangled her. Their two young children, Caroline and Antoine, were still asleep upstairs. One by one, he went to their bedrooms and suffocated them. Then he drove calmly to his parents' house in Clairvaux-les-Lacs. They greeted him with smiles. He shot them both with a hunting rifle in their living room. He even killed the family dog. Afterwards, he met his in-laws for lunch as if nothing had happened. Later that evening, he lured his former mistress to a quiet road under the pretext of returning some papers. There, he attempted to kill her with the same rifle. But she fought back, scratched his face, escaped, and ran for help. Jean-Claude returned home, alone now, surrounded by the bodies of his wife and children. He poured gasoline around the house, swallowed pills, and set the place on fire. It was supposed to look like a tragic accident. But firefighters arrived quickly and pulled him from the blaze alive. Inside, they found the horrifying truth. Investigators were stunned. Who was Jean-Claude Romand? They dug into his background and discovered decades of lies. There was no medical degree, no career at the WHO. His entire adult life had been a performance. The media went wild. Headlines across Europe called him the fake doctor and the man who lived a lie. How could a man maintain such deception for 18 years without anyone noticing? How could a husband, a father, slaughter those closest to him rather than tell the truth? At his trial in 1996, the courtroom was packed. Witnesses spoke of his charm, his apparent kindness, his calm demeanor. And then prosecutors detailed the brutality of the killings. Romand sat quietly, almost detached, as the horror was recounted. Jean-Claude Romand was found guilty of the murders of his wife, his children, and his parents, as well as attempted murder of his former mistress. He was sentenced to life in prison, with no possibility of parole for 22 years. Even now, decades later, the case chills the spine. It raises haunting questions. How well do we really know the people around us? How far will someone go to maintain a lie? And how many chances did the world have to uncover the truth before it was too late? The story of Jean-Claude Romand is not just about a man who lied. It is about the terrifying lengths a person can go to hide from reality. Behind the smile of a loving father, behind the calm routine of a respected doctor, lay a void that consumed an entire family. Remember this. Not every mask hides a hero. Some masks hide a monster.